Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Kramer and Jess Uncensored, episode 114. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know if our guest is coming in or not, but I'm hoping we can get this lined up. Really quick heads up, if you've never been to an episode of Kramer and Jess Uncensored, you have not reached the radio show. This is very different. What is this, Jess?
It's like the close friends feature on Instagram. So you know how you have a few people that you show certain things to. That's basically what our Uncensored podcast is.
Hop on mic 4 over here. We're already recording.
Ed, hell yeah. Oh my God.
We have so many questions right now for you.
Right now, Ed from 1057 The Fan, our sister station, just walked in the door.
The headphone jack somewhere underneath. We help him find us on somewhere.
It's right there.
Underneath it. You only have the little ones? Oh,
That's
boy.
so rude.
Wait, what does he have? Is it fancy?
He got the smaller one.
Let him use your
Okay.
headphones for this
Go ahead.
so we can do this. Okay, so today is a big day, and there's been a little discrepancy because we're just shocked about what we just heard about one of our coworkers.
Tell him to sit in the chair so he can be on camera.
Oh, can you switch the camera over here too? There we go. So now you're on that camera too. In case you don't know, today on the radio show, we had a pretty big moment in Jess's life, I would say. And that is what, Jess?
I low-key basically brought back the discontinued original chicken crispers to Chili's.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is massive is because there was an uproar from the entire world, from across the country, when they decided to remove the original chicken crispers from the menus.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the original, hence literally the first chicken tenders they had on the menu. I've been getting these things since like 1995, and I was devastated. So I started a petition on change.org. I started making videos on TikTok. I basically was talking trash on Chili's every single day for the last like 2 months. And we have a listener who tracked down the last bag of batter to make the original chicken crispers in the country.
He's like the general manager of
They
like, the area.
shipped it to Maryland, and I'm going to have them one last time today.
Yeah. So we sent out an email inviting people to come with us. And somehow, Ed, how'd you even find out about this? Did they bring it to you?
I was in with the 1019, Greg and Gina.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it.
So Ed is the morning show host over on our sister station, 1057 The Fan. But you're also like a big deal. Like, you're not just a radio host. You were the police commissioner in Baltimore for how many years?
I think it's a couple years. 20 years with the NYPD, 3 years as commissioner here, ran the state police.
He said couple.
Just a few.
20.
You're just kind of a
20.
massive deal. We heard through the grapevine, though, you've never been to Chili's or Olive Garden before.
In your entire life?
That is correct.
How
Ed,
in the world?
What the hell, Ed?
How do you avoid going to a Chili's or an Olive Garden for your whole entire life? I feel like it's a very common restaurant to go to. We're not talking about something that's like,
Hang on a second. Are you really asking me this question?
you. As someone who is a big deal, I don't think big deal people go to where us commoners, our commoners go to.
What the? So why? Why have you never stepped foot into a Chili's?
I don't like that kind of food. I don't like fast food.
It's not fast food. It's a sit down restaurant, Ed.
Yeah. So's McDonald's. I sit down at McDonald's.
Okay.
I got a guy that drinks grass in the morning complaining I don't go to these restaurants.
No.
I want my food to have parents. Wow. That's a good
Literally,
point.
no,
But
literally,
even as a
Chili's has a full restaurant, a full bar. They have amazing margarita deals. I feel like when I take you to your first Chili's, of all of this entire time you've been on this planet, your world's gonna change.
I don't think
You're
it's
going to change my world?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I worry about this because, Jess, you have to remember, like, you and I just, we're commoners, right? Ed Norris is not a commoner. For a man that's never been to a Chili's, like, okay, so let me ask a question before we go to Chili's today, because he's gonna go for the very first time, right? You're going for lunch with us? Okay, perfect. Where
He's in a suit. For those listening, Ed is in a full-on suit right now.
fanciest person at
Going
Chili's
to Chili's.
Jess,
is gonna be
this
Ed.
suit is not only it's custom made.
How much that suit cost for real? What do you
Oh
think?
my
More than my first car.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
And we're taking this man to a Chili's for our first outing with him.
I'm only going because I have a bar. I'm going because it's Jess and I heard about the story. So it's
Yeah.
So where do you think, as someone that's never been to Chili's before, where do you think the food is going to fall on a scale from 1 being the absolute worst thing you've ever had to 10
Trash.
being like just,
Phenomenal.
Michelin star?
I was I'm hoping for a 3.
For 3.
Yeah.
What do we even tell him to get? I don't even know what to tell him. It just as someone that loves Chili's, and I'm somewhere in between the two lifestyle of y'all's. Like, I'm not really a Chili's person, but I'm not a custom suit either. I'm somewhere in between. So I can
What
see.
are you talking about?
I'm not.
Just because you're not going to buy a custom suit doesn't mean you're not bougie as fuck. Like, you literally are.
I'm not this level. I'd like to be at this level.
That's
but
what
I'm not,
bougie people say.
I'm the kind of guy that goes to Target to buy a suit. Like, it's still a suit, but it's Target. It's not custom made at all.
My life has fallen. I just said it on my show this morning.
Your life has fallen?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I used to be in charge of 41,000 people in New York. Now I get made fun of on a sports radio show every day. So
now you're the dumbass on the radio.
I'm not really. I've been humbled quite a bit. So.
maybe
Chili's is going to be fun.
Maybe Chili's is good for you.
I mentioned I was a cast member of The Wire, and they wrote a book.
And now we're taking this man to Chili's for the first time. What do you tell Jess? What would you recommend as someone that's never been to Chili's before, as a first timer? What should he even get today?
I think we can discuss like what type of food you actually like, so I can kind of gauge where I should guide you. But I feel like the fajitas are always a crowd pleaser. They walk out and they're on a skillet, and it's a really fun thing to see.
That's safe.
The chips and salsa is fire. It's really, really
Yeah.
good. And obviously, you're going for the original chicken crispers. I will say though, Ed, today is a very, very important day to me. So if you when you walk in there, I don't want you to shit on Chili's until we leave, because I'm going to be very emotional in there.
She's going to be sensitive.
And Chili's is very important to me. And so when we go in there, it has to be all positive vibes. And I don't want to hear any shit talking on the original chicken
I would
crispers.
never do that.
So
They serve tequila, right?
Yes. The
They have a
margaritas,
bar.
the bar
Wait.
is actually so good. Like the deals are so stupid. It's really good.
What's the name of the giant margarita they have? It's something super trashy.
Oh, I don't know. But it's so fun. They like put Corona bottles in it and everything.
Yeah,
like it's like cheap. It's cheap liquor. People sleep on Chili's as a bar.
Maybe I made a mistake.
I don't think so. I think you're actually right on track. Where would you typically go? Like, where does Ed Norris go? Let's say
not Chili's.
That if you were going out to have a dinner, typically where would you go if it's not Chili's or Olive Garden?
Like if it's bars, I like the Mount Washington Tavern, Shotty's downtown, Barracudas.
Yeah.
But when I go to like Limoncello, I'll go to the Capitol Grill, I'll go to the Top of Shark.
Those are nice.
A little different.
Those are nice places.
Here's what I might recommend. You might want to maybe at least take the coat off for Chili's.
No, keep it on. You walk in there as you are.
I'm really embarrassed today because you're going to make fun of me like my own show.
No, we're not. We're jealous.
No, we're not making fun of you. We feel like trash next to you. I think that's what it is.
Belt?
Is that? It's the nicest belt I've ever seen.
It's a Versace.
How much does the belt cost? Just the belt.
Flash your Versace belt.
Yeah, he did.
It pays to advertise.
What do you think? Seriously, what do you think the belt costs alone?
Well, only because you could look it up. I'm going to say it. I think it's $550.
$550.
What
This
the
man's
fuck?
belt.
It was my birthday just passed.
It was $550 for a belt. So
my birthday was Monday. I swear.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Well,
I'm so glad I can take you to Chili's for your birthday.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
This will be a fun experience.
We're going to get to drink together.
Yeah.
That's true. And today it will happen for the
Do you
very first
drink?
time. I don't drink now. I know. Does that shock you?
No.
You don't seem surprised at all. I walk past the sports studio every morning. I've never felt more shame from men than I do when I walk past.
Yeah, he talks about it every day.
I literally walk by. I just feel like they're staring at me today. I feel like they know. Like
yeah, and I have to be like, it's fine. Like,
I'm not
no,
living,
they're not like that. Really.
Living up to their standards of being manly enough for that show. I want to come on one day. I feel like one day we should.
We would love to have you on.
No, why would you say that?
Well, I mean, it's
that's
only
the
fair.
last place you need to be, dude.
If he comes over here, and he's willing to at least, say, I've got a
it's not only fair for
$550
you
belt.
to go over there.
I should be able to go over there. I feel like and stand up for our show.
No. You can go and just want to be on your own. That won't represent me and you, buddy.
I feel like I'd never recover. I feel like I'd cry for like 3 weeks after being over there.
Do you know any sports? You a fan of any sport?
I grew up an Atlanta Braves fan. This was in the 90s. So I was there for like
Here he goes.
David, yeah, watch this. I'm talking to another guy, Jess. Let me watch this. Here we
Okay,
go.
I'll observe.
This is what guys talk about. Watch this. So I was an Atlanta Braves fan in the early 90s for David Justice and Terry Pendleton and all that stuff. Chipper Jones.
Oh, name dropping. Here
and
we
then
go.
that was about the end of it. That's seriously, I think what happened, and the true story of why I don't play sports is, number one, I'm not good. Number two is that my dad was always my coach. And if your dad is a coach of your team, it will ruin the experience for you. So I learned very quickly like sports was not going to be my thing. I kind of just gave up on it.
Oh.
I just completely gave up.
It's not for everybody. I was just curious.
No, that's why I want to go on. In case you're new to our podcast or you don't know, so they host a sports talk show. So I would like to be able to go on there and
as Kramer, solo dolo.
You won't back me up on this?
Not on that one.
We'll have to come over there and talk about Chili's with them because I guarantee you the rest. Jeremy Kahn screams, "I go to Chili's a lot." Would you agree? That's his co-host.
That'd be a birthday celebration. He'd go to Chili's.
I would celebrate my birthday at Chili's too.
These two right here, I feel like could be the ultimate pair.
I
Jess
love
and
Jeremy.
That'd be
I love
perfect.
Jeremy.
Thank you for making time.
Rob
today.
is bougie as fuck.
He's not going.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so bougie.
Yeah,
Who's bougie? Are you or Rob?
it's a toss-up.
Oh, it depends on the day
I'll
or
give
the
you a secret.
occasion.
Before he goes on television,
Yeah.
he does the Orioles broadcast.
Yeah.
He sends me a picture of what he's wearing for my approval.
Oh, it's
And
so
why
nice.
why does he do that? Wait,
He looks. Have you seen Rob on TV?
No, he looks great.
Dude, anytime I see
Yeah.
Rob, I take a picture of him. And I was like, I see you on TV. He looks
What?
snazzy as hell.
Why does he run it past you though?
He wants my
He's
approval.
wearing a
for taste.
Versace suit. What you
Yeah.
expect?
Is it like competition between the two of you? You think?
No,
No,
it's
support.
just he's asking for my opinion.
Whose belt's more expensive, yours or his? Every day I want to check in of how much.
I did
everyone's
buy him
belt costs.
cufflinks this year with his initials on for Christmas.
How much that cost?
Ooh.
Yeah, not much.
How much?
I don't know.
Don't give Jess an idea of how much we should be spending on one another for gifts. I feel like it's a
I
different world.
bought
over
Jeremy a Dallas Mavericks hoodie and I bought Rob cufflinks.
Oh.
there. And I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
Okay, 12:45. Chili's. Prepare yourself for.
I'm so excited you're coming,
yeah.
Ed.
I'm
That's
looking
so
forward to it. I
fun.
It's
can't wait
be-
to hang out with you guys.
It's going to be a definite experience as Jess gets her very last chicken fingers
Original chicken crispers in the country
and Ed Norris goes to his very first Chili's.
ever.
If it's good though, will you go to Olive Garden after that?
No.
Not today, but
I
like
don't. That's a tough one. I grew up in an Italian household, so I'm picky about my Italian.
I was going to say,
food.
you seem Italian.
But it's
Yeah.
unlimited breadsticks and
You
salad.
listen if you ever you can't, but you work it. But if you ever listen to my show, you'd get it.
There's no way you
They
step
make
into
fun of my Brooklyn Italian stuff all day long.
I was trying to do an impression of you before you walked in here. and I
Everyone
was
else
like-
does in the building.
I was like my impression of Ed is what it's what the fuck would I go to an Olive Garden? Like that's my best impression of Ed Norris.
Oh
You
my
fucking met me
God.
before?
Have you met me before? What the fuck am I gonna do at a fucking Olive Garden? I
It's
mean,
gonna be
what the
fun.
fuck do you think is gonna be? The fucking Chili's, fucking giant margaritas? Fuck.
It's gonna be so good.
All right, Ed Norris, everybody. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. There he
Thank you.
goes.
Yeah.
1057 The Fan is probably the least of his accolades, but thank you for making time to come on today. How are you feeling, Jessica?
I think I'm
Thanks, Ed.
super excited. Like I feel this is a massive deal. I feel like literally, you guys, every single person has downplayed this, and no one understands how like insane it is that the last original chicken crispers were tracked down, and that they're going to be had today, and then that's it. They're gone.
I can't tell. Let's drop the BS for a second. Like I can't really tell how excited you are versus how much you're just turning it on. That like you're eating these chicken fingers.
It's not,
honestly.
dude. It's not even about turning it on. I think you think that because you don't care.
I don't, and that's what I'm
So
saying. I don't.
that's
To
the
me,
thing.
like to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, like this is a level 3.
Dude, this was an item that literally Chili's has been getting dragged online by thousands of people because they have fucking removed this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you know, like it's like a fandom. So just like Harry Potter fans, like Star Wars fans, like original chicken crispers, Chili's fans are like, what the fuck? And they took it off. And I've been going to Chili's since I was like 3 years old, and I've been getting it since I was 3 years old. And I would go to Chili's like at least once a month to go and get the original chicken crispers. After we had the call today, or after we had a call with Marty, who like did this with us, I called my uncle immediately.
Yeah.
Like my
Just
and
no
my
bullshit. Literally, like hopped right off the radio.
and called my uncle, and I was like, and I called my parents. I'm gonna post the FaceTime when I tell my parents like what I did, because I called my parents
and
too
recorded it.
after, and like we're fucking excited. My aunt and my uncle literally met at Chili's like in the early 2000s. That's how they met.
Wait, what was their story?
So they were just friends, but they were both servers at Chili's, and that's
Oh.
literally Abby's parents. Like that's how they met.
Oh,
Yeah, and they were together, and like my whole family
That's
will
kinda
go to
cute.
Chili's because that's how they met and all that kind of stuff. And like everyone goes, even in Stockton, like we would go birthdays, dance recitals, like you know, good report cards or whatever the fuck. Like we always went to Chili's.
Do you think that Chili's is trash though?
No,
You don't think it is? Like you think? Like I'll ask you the same question because I asked Ed. You know, on a 1 to 10 scale, he said Chili's is like a 3 to him, even though he's never had it.
Yeah.
Where do you put Chili's on, like, again, like 1 being terrible, 10 being the best restaurant?
I think Chili's is like a solid 7.
Wow.
You go in there.
So. I don't think it's
the
too
chips
far
and
off.
salsa's fucking fire. Like the drinks are cheap. The fries are really good. And like once you just have a meal and you always get that meal. But like I like that kind of shit.
I think what I realized at my level of bouginess where I am, I'm not, and I don't know if this has changed. It's been a couple of years. I actually remember I took you guys to a party at Chili's, so I'm not too far beyond that at all by any means. But once I became vegan, it was really hard to eat at Chili's. My ex-wife and I used to go there all the time. That was like at least once a week we'd be eating at Chili's because they do have great
2 for
appetizers,
20.
man. Like
3 for 10.
It was you could eat pretty cheap there, which I liked. But then I got vegan and I turned vegan. There was not many I went vegan, and there weren't like a ton of things to really eat there. My point of this whole thing was what?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Oh, I think I'm at a point though where like I'm like right above where you have to order on a kiosk, like a little. Do they still have those things on the table where you have to order it yourself?
No, you just pay there. But you order from a server.
Oh, but a server comes over, but then you swipe and they have the games
at the end. Yeah, you can still pay.
I'm gonna say you could order certain things, like you can order cocktails, you could order appetizers and desserts, but it's mostly just to pay there and also for kids to entertain the kids.
I think I'm not at a $500 belt, but I'm thinking I'm like one level up at like order at the table kind of thing. Hassan, 1 to 10 for you. Chili's to me is probably a 5. I mean 5, maybe even a 6. I think it's an American classic and a staple, and I can appreciate it for what I don't think it's a 6, 5.5 at best, 5 to 5.5. To you, where's Chili's?
I would put it same as you, 5.5, because it's like a Tex-Mex Applebee's. So
yeah.
I mean, but more than anything, the fact that so many people signed the change.org and we're commenting and like would message me about this shit and we're just like so supportive. It's just really fucking cool.
Do you see, if you listen to our radio show, I purposely didn't say when and where we were going to be because I just didn't want it to be like
for people to come.
I just didn't want it. I don't know if that sounds rude, but I just didn't want it to be like
it's a big deal. Like people were doing like news stories about this shit. Like it's a massive deal.
And maybe this is like sign of the times. I just imagine somebody like showing up and being like, you said we could have the chicken fingers, because this is become a very sensitive issue for some reason for some people. So I purposely didn't say that, like where we were going to be. So if you listen to this podcast, please don't. Well, y'all can show up. Y'all are all cool here. But it's today. We're not saying which one though, and we're not saying what time. So that's that. Okay. Let's take a break. Before we come, we got about 12 minutes. I want to talk about literally, I burned my asshole. No lie. I want to talk about that. And I also wanted to Jess to give you this rundown of her wedding dress shopping, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. We weren't here last week. So back here in a second. I think you should probably go first. We'll end with, I don't know how you come back from your assholes burning.
Yeah, I don't either. That was a surprise for me as well, along with all of you.
It will make sense. It will make sense in a couple seconds. It's a very me kind of story of like, I think I made the wrong decision trying to make myself better, but it's just not good.
I literally got stranded on the side of the road for 2.5 hours before my wedding dress appointment.
So we didn't get a chance to go over this. I know last time when we weren't here last week, because last week just ended up being chaos, but Jess was going wedding dress shopping. And I'm wondering, with what happened to you, do we think that this is a curse? Because with my story, it sounds very similar. And you saw how my marriage turned out. What happened, Jessica?
Awesome. Anyways, so, okay. We had the wedding dress appointment on a Friday at Love It at Stella's in Westminster, which is like 40 minutes. At that time, it was like 40 minutes away from where we live. And we were running kind of late. And so Garage Boy was going to like take us, drop us off, and like pick us up later. And we are probably and it's me, my mom, my sister Butter in the car. And we are 10 minutes away from the shop. And we hear like this noise. And it was his fucking tire. And mind you, literally a week to the day, a week earlier, he was like, I need to get new tires. Like, I really need to do that. So like when this happened, I was like, oh my God.
You knew it.
Yeah. And we pull over off the side on the Maryland 140 heading to Westminster. And like, it's a really like busy, like it's basically a freeway, you know, and like everyone's going super fast. And where we were stopped, it was just low key, like in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't like in a safe enough area, or as far as distance to like walk to somewhere and figure it out. We were like almost smack dab in the middle, and like in the middle of nowhere on the way to try to get to somewhere. Yeah. And so we were just like, fuck, like what do we do? Obviously he calls roadside assistance, and that was about to take like another 3 hours, of course. So in the meantime, we're trying to like call, maybe if there's like a local thing. And I wasn't sure. Like I called a local tow place and she was like, I don't know like how to help you guys. Like maybe just like call 911 and ask them. So that's why I called 911.
She recommended you called 911.
Yeah, like a tow, like the
Wow.
tow lady person, because she was like, I don't know how else, like who else could get you, right? Because at first we didn't think of like Uber or Lyft because of where we were located was just such a random area where like I don't think anyone would want to pull over because it wasn't safe to pull over there.
So that was my first idea when you were saying that. I was like, why did nobody just call a car?
Because we were literally where we were just so random that like I think once we just assumed as well. And I think a lot of drivers would be like, fuck that. I'm not going to pull over on the fucking side of the freeway. Like, are you kidding? You know, and not knowing exactly where we were. So I called 911 and before I called 911, I like got in hold of like the Carroll County state trooper, whatever person. And she was like, there's possibly a bus service that could pick you up, but there's no guarantee that they'll actually pull over and do that. Right. So that's what she.
Wait, that was not 911.
That was not 911. I got like, I somehow got like directed to her.
Okay.
So she tells me that. So then when I do call 911, they, I think, they like direct, even I remember when the 911 person answered, she was like, oh shit, I don't know, maybe these people can help you. So it wasn't like even the 911 lady was like, what the fuck, like absolutely not, like she didn't even fucking know. So she ends up putting me back to the same department of the lady that told me there was possibly a bus that could pick us up, right?
Okay.
And a guy answers the phone and he was like, you just spoke to my coworker, this isn't a 911 emergency, we're not a taxi cab service. And it was like super mean to me. And I was like, you know what, I'm stranded and I'm just asking for information.
Did you really say that?
Yeah, I was like,
I
am stranded. I'm just asking for information. That's all I'm trying to do.
And
you know?
What did he say back to you?
And he was like, well, this isn't. He goes again, like this isn't a 911 emergency. And I was like, okay, cool. And I hung up on him. And I was just pissed because I was like, what if like, okay, fine, it's not a 911 emergency, but like, why are you talking to people like that? Like, what if I was in like a crazy, like freaking out state, which I was, but like, honestly, like I didn't feel safe. I legit didn't feel safe. Like we did not know what the fuck we were going to do.
I just don't know that 911 would have gone through my head as this is who I should be calling. Because, you know, like did you consider what was happening to you an emergency?
Yeah. Because we don't know. Because at one point he was like, why don't you call someone to come get you? And I was like, I don't fucking have. I didn't say that, but I was like, I don't have anyone to come get me.
Because I was thinking too. I could just go. I could just go pick you guys up. I wish you would have said something. I was out of town.
You were fucking out of town, and like Tom was like downtown. Like I didn't think I'm not gonna fucking call you to come pick us up. Like
I was in Baltimore. It was fine.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't. When he was like, white, like you should have a brother or sister or cousin to come get you. Like no, fool. Not everybody has people like that where they could feel comfortable calling to come pick me up on the side of the road, right? So then we're like waiting on the insurance and we ended up calling an Uber. And I think it was just like a miracle because we called this driver and he actually got stranded a week prior for the same thing. He got a flat tire.
Same spot.
Not same spot, like on the Beltway. He was like, oh my God, like that happened to me. Like I'll come and get you. Like I'll figure it out. Like I'll come help you guys. So he was super empathetic and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he picks us up and we drop Garage Boy off at the tire place that he was going to get his car, whatever. We go to the wedding dress appointment. It was like literally the best experience of my entire life. And while all of that is going on, the tow truck drops Garage's car at the wrong fucking tire place.
No.
Yeah. So he's at a different tire place and the tow truck drops his car off at some random one. And he was like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And they basically were just like, well, we have another call. So you got to figure it out. Isn't that fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
So that happened.
So how did that get saved then?
Well, he was stranded at this one tire place and sitting there. And I guess the guys that worked there were just they were really nice and just trying to help him out. And a random or a local tow truck person walks in after dropping off a car. And the owner of that shop was like, this guy needs a ride. And that tow truck guy was like, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for $50. Man. Super nice. Yeah. Goes and picks up his car. And then he meets us at a different tire place where he was supposed to go. And then that was it.
Okay. I've always told this story and I'm just wondering if you think this at all, because looking back now in hindsight, I wish I would have kind of seen the signs, right? So the day that I went to propose to my ex-wife, I was living in Panama City, Florida, and I was going to go propose to her in this rose garden. It was probably 45 minutes away, right? So I get in the car and I got the ring, and it's by the way, I'm sure you saw it in the video with Garage Boy. Like the moment before, hours before you propose, it's like the most stressful time ever because you're like, do I have the ring? You double check. Do I have the ring? Is it in there? And maybe she's going to say yes. What am I going to say?
We have video of him like
pacing. Man, you get so stressed out, right? So there's already 1,000 things going through my head.
Yeah.
Y'all, on the drive, and this is the only time in my whole entire life I've gotten a flat tire, was driving from my house to drive over to this other beach area where I was going to go propose to her. The only time in my life.
Yeah.
And I've always wondered in hindsight, was that a sign that I shouldn't have married her? Like, was that the universe being like, yo, check it out. Like, this is like, you have to admit, it's kind of weird, right? Like, never had a flat tire my whole entire, well, me personally, no, I've never had a flat tire. Didn't have it before, didn't have it after. It was one time literally in my life.
Yeah.
And it was driving to propose to my now ex-wife. So when I hear your story, is there any part of you that's like, is this
like,
a
what
sign?
does this mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, okay. It was a shit show, and I go way more into detail on my wedding subscription on IG, but like,
good plug.
It was literally, it brought us closer together.
Mm-hmm.
And it also just showed, because when we got stranded, I was like, oh my God, like what are we going to do? Like, I'm going to cancel the appointment,
Sure.
obviously to figure that out. And he was like, no, like we need to get you there. So like our like main focus was each other. Right. And so obviously like we figured out, but like, and it kind of made me nervous too, because I was just prepared for him to be really upset and like uncomfortable, just because it's a really stressful situation.
Wait,
and I think PTSD of like how my previous relationship was, I just like just being in that kind of like crisis moment, I was afraid of how he was going to react, because that's probably like one of the first crisis moments that we've gone through like that together. And I was just prepared just to however he was going to be, because he was with my mom and my sister too.
Wait, really quick, was he coming to the wedding dress appointment with you guys?
No, he was just dropping us off, because
okay.
like we were gonna Uber there, we were running late, so like he ended up taking us, and he was gonna pick us up after, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was fully prepared and like totally understanding of however his mannerisms and however his behavior was going to be. And he was just calm, and he was and was like, playing with like me, Butter, and my mom, and was able to like laugh it off, and wasn't like, this is your fault. Like, I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for your wedding dress appointment, because that's the kind of shit I've heard before in like a previous thing. So I'm like thinking maybe he was going to be that way.
Right.
But he wasn't. He was just like, we're going to get you there today. Like, you guys need to go, like, drop me off here, like, go do your thing. You know what I mean? And like, my dad was just super like just, I don't know. It brought us together.
Well, you were posting out there like it was a damn reality show.
No, I know.
That's how I knew it was okay. If you don't watch Jess's Insta stories, it was like,
yeah, but it
looked like,
it was crazy.
I knew you were okay. I knew it wasn't like a huge like bummer.
But
moment.
that's the thing. But a lot of people in that situation can be like, what the fuck, you guys? Like, this is lame, like shutting down. And the fact that it was a bonding moment, not just for me and him, but like him and my sister, and him and my mom. Yeah. The four of us, and also him with those two, are definitely closer because of it. And I'm thankful for that.
So he was a real man.
He was a real supportive ass partner, and it was just so sweet to see.
Isabel on our, by the way, hi to YouTube. Sorry, we were just been a little chaotic in here. We didn't expect to have Ed on to the very last second. Isabel on our YouTube show says, don't take it as a bad omen for your marriage. Take it as a reason to get things done as soon as you know it needs it. If you need tires, get them done quickly.
I know. He's doing that on Friday, literally.
But does anybody do that though? I'm the
like
same
all
way.
of them.
Like your warning light comes on. You're like, I still got 3 months. I'm fine.
No, you don't.
I'm nervous too.
No, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. All right, let me ask the answer to the question that Tina asked, which is, what the hell? Burn your asshole.
I know, ew.
Y'all. It's just, my life is so just. I always say I don't have a good life, but there's always unfortunate things happening in here. So last night I go to plop down on my bed, and literally like the most simple of plop. I'm just going to sleep. I'm just trying to go to sleep. Literally just plop down on my bed, and all of a sudden I feel this really bad pain, and I'm like, and the only reason I knew what this was, because I've done it before, I'm like, did I just bruise my tailbone by plopping down in the bed? And I think that's exactly what I did. Now, if you've never bruised your tailbone before, which, I mean, most people, I was talking to Ann, our, whatever she does, Ann's the office manager here. She was like, oh, I did that one time, but I fell on concrete. I'm like, I literally plopped down on the bed. Now, this happened again when I lived in Phoenix. This happened before, where I just went to sit down in a chair, like a padded chair, and for some reason did the same exact thing. So I know this pain. So I'm like kind of trying to figure this out. I can't take Advil because my ears won't let me take Advil anymore. I'm like, okay, Tylenol, but it's not the same. And I'm like, I got an idea. Maybe this will be the solution because it said online, it's like you can use an ice pack. I don't have an ice pack. Use a heating pad. I don't have a heating pad. It said, or I got this idea. I said, maybe I could put some Tiger Balm on my tailbone. Tiger Balm basically is like, think of Bengay.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing, right? It's for pain and for inflammation. I'm like, that could work. Like that actually makes kind of sense. So this morning before I came to work, so I was feeling like shit. I was like, let me just get some Tiger Balm, like rub it on my tailbone. Makes sense, right? Here's what I didn't realize in the moment is how close
the tailbone
your tailbone is to your asshole.
Yeah, I went to like touch mine and I'm like, that doesn't seem like a smart idea.
It's close. It's very close. It's
really
an inch
not.
away. It's an inch away. Now obviously I didn't put much on my tailbone, but what I didn't realize is when your cheeks go to close, it's going to warm up the Tiger Balm, and that Tiger Balm is going to drip from where it is down into your asshole.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing.
Y'all, I swear to you, and I was like, I can't even talk about this on the radio. I don't even know how to like set this up right. I'll say it with the podcast. Yo, I've been walking around my ass cheeks clenched today.
Sir, you're supposed to let him breathe.
That is, have you guys ever done that before? Have you ever?
I've never burned my asshole.
I never burned my asshole.
I'll tell you, I'll tell you another time where I burned my penis in a similar way. And y'all never done this before, like with having something on your fingers or anything and touching your genitals?
No, I wash my hands. Well, that's the thing, because Old Bay is hot. So
yeah,
I always wash my hands after I eat crabs and Old Bay fries, anything like that. So I'm used to washing my hands after I have the irritation sensation on my hand.
I don't remember what was happening, but I remember that I was cutting jalapenos. Okay, and I think this is probably, I was married still, so it's probably been 5-10 years ago. And I went to go pee, right? So what do? You grab your penis, and I didn't think about the fact that I had literal jalapeno juice on there, and then so that was not good. Just a pro tip: don't get Tiger Balm or Bengay in your butthole. It's not.
Okay, I'll put that one down.
That is so funny.
Rough, bro. A rough couple hours over here. Alrighty, well there you go. I'm sure after this episode you really missed us. We thank you for being here. We have to head to Chili's now.
Yes,
so
Chili's.
Jess is gonna go. Can we make a pact right now though that we're not going to linger? Because I feel what's gonna happen is they're gonna start drinking and want to hang out all afternoon, and I'm gonna be like in and out.
I didn't know that. I wish I knew that because I have an appointment to be at 3.
Yeah, me too.
So
I have an appointment to be at 1:30.
Oh, I'm kind of bummed. I'm trying to kick it over there.
I'll take one shot and then leave.
Damn it!
I will not. Okay. Thank you for listening to the episode. Really appreciate you for keeping this podcast going. Seriously, you guys, when we look at our numbers from like a corporate stand, like this show does really well. So thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. And to everybody watching on YouTube, thank you as well. Amber, I'm sorry we didn't give you guys a ton of attention today. Amber and Mike.
Good morning.
Tina.
Hi, guys.
Erica. What's up? Veronica. Celia's here. And Queen Pam. It's good to see you in between your trips. Glad you're here. Okay, if you want to find more Jess, and you can subscribe to her wedding subscription over there to find more chaos.
Yes, at Jess Do It, JESSDUITT, and I will definitely be posting about my original chicken crisper journey today.
This is Hassan, our producer. Where do we find you?
You can follow me at StanWilly2.
My ass is burning, y'all. I have a. It really, I mean, in all truth, like it sucks. It's like I'm already in pain from my tailbone being bruised, and now my asshole burns.
And you have to go to Chili's.
And I gotta go sit at Chili's with a bunch of knuckleheads. So I'm that guy Kramer on Instagram. My podcast is called Certified Mama's Boy. I will not be bringing up. This is a problem when you have like a burning asshole story.
Don't bring that up at Chili's.
It's
don't bring it up with your mother.
Where do you bring it up? It's only for the Uncensored podcast. So thank you for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.